Welcome everyone once again to our regular weekly show on YouTooSpain. I am Skatz, and today I'll be talking with two of the stars of the latest series of the UK TV show A New Life in the Sun. We'll find out all about their move to Spain, and also why have I got a picture of my local town in the background? What's the connection? Stick around and you'll find out. Plus, of course, we'll be answering your questions on the live chat and in the comments and from social media. If you're watching the recording of the show, within a few days of the recording, you can find the time codes for all of the answers you need in the video description below, and there'll be a red line on the screen here. And that saves you having to scroll through every time when you're watching it back. So, welcome to YouTooSpain. Cue the music. So just before we begin, you need to know that we have a brand new merchandise page with some really fun new t-shirt and hoodie designs, and the links to that can also be found in the video description below, along with some very helpful links to where you can get a discount on getting your documents officially apostilled and translated, and also great deals on healthcare insurance. And once again, we're going to be giving some prizes away for the best questions and comments from you. So without further ado, let's meet my guests for the day. It's Anthony and Ian. Hola.
Hola. Good morning.
Good morning. It's great to have you on the show. And especially as you were only on the telly on Channel 4 yesterday and the day before on the new series of A New Life in the Sun. What's the feedback been like from friends and on social media?
It's been really busy. We spent all day answering Instagram messages and Facebook messages and direct messages and stuff like that. So yeah, there's been lots of interest and feedback.
Shame we didn't have our guest house open.
Yeah, absolutely. Could have had an instant flood of customers.
But they're going to start filming again as soon as we get the new guest house.
Brilliant. I'm sure they'll just build on social media anyway from now until then.
Yeah,
good stuff. And you told me just before we came on air that you had instant recognition from people in where you are now.
Yeah, on Thursday evening after the show, we thought, oh, let's go out for a drink, and we went up into Nerja, into the old town, and we went into a bar, and at least 5 people came up and said, oh, I've just seen you on the TV. Mm-hmm. And then we went to another bar and it happened again. So yeah, it's TV does work. It's very good.
Yeah, instant fame and fortune. Did it turn out the way you expected, or did it feel a bit odd looking back at it?
It felt really odd. We both sat on the sofa here, and with because we were going to go out to a bar and watch it. We thought, no way, we don't know what it's going to be like. So we were sat here, and even we were cringing to ourselves, and we had our cushions like that, and we was going, oh my god, no, I can't believe I just said that. Yeah. It was really good though. It was really good fun. I would recommend anybody to do it. It's brilliant, isn't it?
Yeah, it is hard to watch yourself, and you can relate back to how nervous she was at the time, because it was like the first few times they filmed. It was very I was very nervous. So, but I suppose you relax the more you get into it.
Yeah. So,
I'm going to buy myself some new clothes for the next time, because you realize, like, I was thinking to myself, what the hell did I put that t-shirt on for? And then what was wrong with that? And it makes you look back at your things, doesn't it? And think, oh my god, I'm going to have a look at my wardrobe, revisit it.
Yeah, up your style and fashion sense.
Yeah.
It was a shame as well, because they filmed in lots of places. Like they filmed us at the chateau, they filmed us at Carcassonne Beach, they filmed us at a restaurant, and they filmed us at this beautiful house with gardens, and 90% of it didn't even get on there, did it?
No.
They filmed us with eating with our neighbours, French neighbours, none of that got on it. So, So all these people who we knew in France and who we knew in England, who was filmed with us, in different times, they all thought maybe they were going to be on it, and they all went to the cutting room floor.
Oh, what a shame.
Brennan and Andrew helped us on the show yesterday. They were on the show 2 years ago on A New Life in the Sun. They've got a B&B in Alorina Grande, Casa 44. And they helped us and gave us loads of knowledge. So if there's anybody looking for any knowledge on wanting to move and buy a house, that and help with that. They're really good guys.
Excellent. Yeah, I saw one of their posts on social media this morning and did a little nice comment for them.
Oh, okay.
We had some questions come in. I've got Ivo Weatherly from Expats in Spain. He was asking, are any of the disasters that happened on the show staged?
No, nothing's staged at all. People believe it is. People think it is because I've been asked that before since it went on. Sorry, a couple of days ago, but no, nothing's staged. And a lot, like I was just chatting to Anthony about it. There's a lot more interesting stuff that happened, which they kind of missed. Like particularly the day we were moving out when we had to throw the rug out the window. Mm-hmm. Half an hour before that was bringing out a large armchair. We had to get it out the window. On a rope, it was on a pulley system from the same window, and the rope snapped, and of course the chair fell and exploded on the floor. So that would have been really good. But nothing staged at all. Really, they just tell you. First time they come, they say to you, "We'll ask you questions, and don't ask like a direct question back. Just drop it into the conversation." But that's about it, really. They ask you questions sometimes,
and the rest of the time they're just filming you. When you're working, you kind of forget that they're there, and you do actually like to each other. You say, "Oh, SHI," and if you've done something wrong, and you're like, "Oh my God, I can't believe I said that. The camera was there," but she said, "Don't worry about that. Cut or anything that's bad, they'll cut out," which they did, didn't they?
Yeah.
Because I walked into the bedroom at one point, and somebody had stole 2 cushions off the bed, and on the morning, and I walked into the room, and I swore, sorry, and I went, "Oh my God," and they didn't put that on the TV. Did they? That would have made good TV as well.
Yeah. Maybe they can show it after 9 o'clock after the watershed.
Yeah. So,
what made you sell up in France? Because you were in France before with your B&B. What made you sell up and move to Spain to start again?
Well, that was kind of our plan originally, because we both had jobs for years, and then we opened a coffee shop for 5 years, and then we'd always said we wanted to go abroad, but I wanted to go to France and Anthony wanted to go to Spain, although I like Spain just as much. So we said, right, we'll do 5 years in France and then we'll go to Spain for 5 years or maybe longer. Nothing was like fixed, but we lived in it was a beautiful village, but French villages can be very quiet, particularly for the six months of the year, which is when it's not summer or spring. And we had 2 years there, and it was just too quiet really for us. So we decided, okay, let's move on to Spain.
Mm-hmm. So you've not been having arguments about it, and one of you liking one and one the other?
No, not now. He loves it now more than France. I mean, France it's a really, really lovely place to live. It's beautiful. It's idyllic. It's all really good. But as Ian said, from September through till March, April, probably April, May, everything like really closes, mainly in the villages, and it's like you don't see anybody. All the shutters go up, and it's like you're in COVID again.
The French have a word for it. Actually, they call it cocooning. And basically, as soon as like autumn or winter come, like everyone closes the shutters, which they close in the summer. They close them anyway because of the heat, So everybody closes all the shutters, and so you can drive around a village or a town, and nothing's open at all. Between 2 and 4, particularly because that's lunch. Sorry, between 12 and 2. You drive around, it's just literally dead. I mean, COVID didn't really feel that different to us.
No, because it's like living in COVID all through the winter anyway. You don't see anybody.
Yeah, you just couldn't go much further than you would normally. You could stay a kilometre and stuff, but it didn't feel that different in the winter.
You'll probably get more clients in the winter in Spain than you did in France.
Yeah. Well, as soon as we moved here in November, we came down in the car, and as soon as we drove down this road to our new apartment, we was like, wow, there's people, there's like all the bars are open, there was Chinese at the end of the road. We went crazy the first few weeks we was here. We was playing, every evening we was having Chinese, Indian, we was eating cakes, hence why I put on a bit of weight, because we was just constantly eating all the time, because in France, you can only eat between 12 and 2 or between 6 and 8, if that's if they're open.
7, 9.
7, 9, yeah.
Yeah. So I said in my introduction that I explained to people why I've got a picture of my local town here, and this is our view from the terrace at night, so it's rather special. And I put it there because your new B&B is actually around about here, and it's in Competa, isn't it? So we're going to be neighbours. How exciting!
Yes.
So,
We're just waiting to get the keys. We put the offer in, paid the deposit about 3-4 weeks ago.
Yeah.
We've been searching this Spain for a long time, and something has always brought us back to Competa. We've been going up there for probably the last 3 or 4 years, and we've viewed houses whilst we were living in France and running our B&B in the centre of France before we moved to the south. And so, I mean, I always said to myself, I can't live there because of the road, but the road actually becomes, because the first time I went up there, I said, there's no way I can live up here. I won't be able to drive back down. And then now I'm just driving up there, driving down, and it's like just a normal road. It's perfect. And, as soon as you get into the village, it feels like home. And the house that we found, it's really lovely, isn't it? It's a big old white. It was something in the day. What was it?
Sorry, I thought you were going to say Victorian again.
No, not Victorian. But it's got a lot of original features, and it's gonna be called Casa Harden, sleep and swim, because we're gonna have it's one of the only houses in the centre. Well, it's not one of the only. There's a few, but in a B&B that's got a big garden where we can put a big pool. It's going to have a terrace where we're going to have a little bar up there looking out onto the sea. There is a La Casa Jardin, sleep and swim.
Jardin, yes. That's a good logo. I like that. It looks very stylish.
So we need to get that. How are we going to have it on the front?
I'm just going to, I think, wire work.
Good.
Yeah. Very, very nice. So you didn't choose Competa because you wanted to be closer to me, did you? It's just
well, we hadn't
quite live.
We hadn't met you then.
We did online.
Would have done. Oh, had we?
Yes, we've met online before, because actually you helped us. Following your programs, we watched and we met Chris from Upsticks, who's amazing. He'd helped you with
brilliant,
everything. He's amazing, isn't he?
Yeah.
You don't have to worry about anything. He even called us yesterday to say, look, when you meet your Hestor, just you give her my details and you don't have to get involved. I'll do everything. I was like, wow, it's brilliant.
Yeah, he's very hands-on and he's very down to earth as well, isn't he?
Yeah, he's really good. He knows what he's talking about.
So you were looking at loads of houses in the Campo, weren't you? Well, you certainly were in the program. I mean, you chose a town in the end.
Yeah, well, we kind of thought that's what we wanted originally, was a house in the Campo, but then we only seen a few, although we've seen as many townhouses as well, didn't we? But we only seen a few in the Campo, and it was kind of like a bit too far from a town or bars and restaurants to walk to. And although some people like holidays where they're just kind of quite remote, they're happy with that. Some people do like to be able to walk to a bar or a restaurant or something. And then kind of we weighed it up and we said, like, for our lives personally, we want to walk to a little town or a bar or something, instead of having to get in and drive, obviously, because then you can't have a drink or anything. So we weighed up the options. And originally we wanted to be within 5 to 10 minutes walk of a town or a big village. But they're really hard to find. We couldn't find that, could we? So then we started to look at villages again, and I like the mountains. Well, we both like the mountains because it was near the mountains in France. So Competa was a good compromise. You're in the town, but you're not too far away from the countryside, and you can see roads and stuff. So
we've got, from the roof terrace, we've got sea views, so we can see the sea. And we're gonna have a little bar up there, so it's like a chill out area. So we're gonna have a rooftop bar, and downstairs the pool. And we're going to go for kind of like a stony, creamy, candles, Moroccan type of feel.
Supposed to keep it spice a bit.
Okay.
Very nice, very nice. So it's going to be a bit stylish and modern, but with Moroccan and traditional tiles and things like
Yeah,
that.
yeah,
Sounds lovely.
yeah.
Boutique is the title,
Boutique.
isn't it?
And of course, you'll be coming to the opening party.
Of course, yes, yeah. I'll bring a bottle.
Yeah.
And you're going to be right. You're actually going to be right in the centre of the action. This, I think, I can't see it because my monitor's too small. But right on the next to the church near the central plaza, it's the heart of the town, really.
Yeah.
And there are all 3 restaurants. You were telling me that there's going to be 1 or 2 more opening up in the square as well.
Yeah. But I looked on the internet yesterday, and I think it said there was 23 restaurants in Competa.
You'll have to meet Jack, my dog.
Oh, hello, Jack.
He keeps nudging me under the table to come and sit on my lap because he likes to sit on my lap. He's 17 now, Jack, but he's a lovely boy.
Wow, well done, Jack.
He clings to me like a limpet everywhere I go. He wants to be with me.
Do you know, I was excited. I knew you had the dogs because when I met you in town when you were looking for a house, and I thought the dogs were going to feature more on TV because they're stars, aren't they?
Yeah, they did do a lot of filming with the dogs, but they didn't show a lot of it, did they? Maybe they were misbehaving.
Well, they didn't show 90% of what they actually filmed. Like I said, all our friends who were on it. Lots of our friends were on it there, with us at restaurants and different things, and where they filmed it. Everyone's been watching it, and none of them actually got on to be on the program.
Yeah.
But as soon as we get the keys, they emailed us yesterday to say when we be getting the keys, and we said about 3 weeks because they want to film us opening the doors with the keys to the new house, going in, giving a tour, and then every few weeks, or if when we're renovating, they'll keep coming back, and then we'll be on next season.
Cool. I'll keep coming round and knocking on the door and butting in.
Yeah,
might get on.
Yeah,
if they film me enough.
Yeah,
you can replace me because what everyone said after they saw it. I said, where was you? And I was basically always hiding most of the time because Anthony's wanted. It took him like 6 months to convince me to do it because obviously it's very good publicity for your new business,
Yeah.
But it took 6 months. I said, no way, never on this world am I going to go on the TV.
But now he loves it. He can't wait to start filming, and he said I can't wait. I'm going to buy myself a new wardrobe, and I'm going to put on that camera. He said I won't be seeing you anymore. I'm going to meet somebody else.
That's a good line.
He says I'm going to Marbella.
Fabulous. Well, I could be your stunt double if you want. I'd have to grow some hair though. Put a wig on. So so you've moved to this really vibrant. It actually feels like Competa's kind of waking up after the pandemic. The whole town's becoming a bit more lively. I mean, it's early days yet. It's February, but it feels like everything's. The pandemic years are receding, and we're at the start of a very good year. So we can now take our masks off outdoors. So it's quite exciting.
Yeah, when we was up there the other day, in fact, about 3 or 4 days ago, it was lunchtime, and it was really, really busy up there, wasn't it? There was people everywhere, loads of tourists. It was a really good buzz, a good atmosphere. I can't wait to move in now. I'm really excited. But today we're moving out. We're moving out of this flat that we've rented for 3 months. We're moving to our friend Stuart from the UK. He's kindly donated his house to us for the rest of the time until our house sale goes through, because our rent was up here today. So he said go to Celebrating, which is about 30 minutes down the road in Costa Tropical. So we're going to live in his house for maybe 2-3 weeks, and then we'll be having to rent a van, go back driving up to Côte d'Ivoire for 16 hours, get all our stuff, and come back down and go into our new home in Competa. So if you don't have any like heating or any fire, any cooking equipment, can we come to yours for a heat and dinner?
Yeah, of course. You're very welcome. So let's get on to some a bit more technical questions, because a lot of my viewers want to know about actually moving to Spain. And I mean, you had French residency because you'd been there for a while, but that doesn't entitle you to Spanish residency. And you both got UK passports?
Anthony's got an Irish passport, and we've been together for 27 years. But before we came away, before Brexit, we came away in 2017, so it was before Brexit. We got married, so in case, although we knew we'd be legal because we got there before Brexit, we sort of said we'd get married in case anything changes, because things were changing. So we did that. So obviously, I'm entitled because Anthony's entitled. So that's how. Because when we moved to France, it was before Brexit, but when we moved from France to Spain, it was after Brexit. So then we definitely needed the Irish passport.
But whilst we were just it's taken us 3 years to change our British driving license to a French one, and we continued that going through. We pretended we were still, because the lady that brought our house, she's a kind of friend, and she's from Australia, and she let us use the house still as a postal address. So just about 2-3 days ago, I got my new French driving license, and now I can just exchange it for a Spanish one. Whereas before, if I would have come here, I would have had to take a driving test. And Ian's is just going through right now. He would have his French one soon. Thank God for the French. Thank God for the Irish.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank God. I'm one of those as well. We did exactly the same thing. That got through on the back of my Irish citizenship, and my wife's is a UK. So yeah, it's the EU citizen that has to apply first, and then the other one applies on the back of that. Yeah.
So that's just going. We've just got our NIE, and which Chris helped us with. He's going to start the process of my residency, and he said it probably about a month it'll take, and then as soon as that comes through, we can do Ian's. I'm not sure how long that process takes.
It can be. We applied for Liz's very early in January, and she's still not had her appointment for a TIE yet. So it's been a month and a half and still waiting. So, but at least she's applied, and what happens is you get a piece of paperwork that says you're in the application process. So that means you won't get kicked out.
Oh, okay.
So you're all legal.
But for healthcare and things, you're okay, but she's not.
No, we're both okay because I'm registered as autonomo, so I'm paying the social security payments, and that entitles both of us to be on the public health system.
Oh, that's good then. That's good.
Yeah, it's handy to know. Took a little while to register with the health centre here. There's just one health centre. It's quite easy, really. I took in somebody who really good Spanish, just to make sure I got the right forms and knew exactly what to do. And
so is it difficult to do, or?
It's not too difficult to do. No, you just need to tick the right boxes and fill in the right form, because there were 2 separate forms, one for me and one for my wife. They look almost identical, but there's just a little bit of different wording on the top. So if you fill in the wrong one, presumably, you know what Spanish paperwork and bureaucracy is like. You just fill in slightly the wrong form, and then you'll have to do it all again, and it'll get jammed in the system. So, but no, it's okay. If you want a hand with that, I can point you out to somebody. I was going to ask about you. How's your Spanish? I noticed you had problems with your voulez-vous on the show.
That was me. I don't know what happened. I remember now yesterday when I seen it, I was like, oh my God, because my French is actually quite all right. Ian's is really good. And I don't know why that morning I was going, voulez-vous. What that was said? But go on, you can say about your Spanish.
Yeah, we learn in Spanish. We kind of sit on the beach and we learn it. We learn it from a linguist called Michel Thomas, he's dead now, but he did these like CDs, and that's how I learned French. And we learn in Spanish now, but we can I can do all the numbers. I can do the days of the weeks. I can do the months. I can do the alphabet. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I can go to 1,000 if you want to.
No, you're right.
And obviously we're learning the language itself as well. So because it's important for us, because obviously we want Spanish guests as well. And then I think we need to speak Spanish, because in France it took a lot of bookings over the phone. Well, that kind of saves you a lot of money, because if you don't take bookings on the obviously they go through websites and booking engines, which I won't mention the name, but where they take a big commission on that. So if you can speak the language, it's a lot better. It saves you a lot of money. So that's my plan in France, is to take bookings on the phone and that from French people. So I want to do that here as well. And we're learning on the beach every day.
Yeah, and it's good that we can both speak French and hopefully be able to speak Spanish soon, because then it gives more of a wider option for people to come and stay with us, because we'll get French guests, we'll get Belgian guests, we'll get who else speaks French? Belgians, French
West
Africans.
Yeah,
there is quite a few French in Competa as well, because we've met a few, and they're like, oh wow, I'll let my family know they can come and stay with you because we can speak French, and so good. It's good from that point of view, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, good stuff. I've not been looking at the live chat. I ought to put up some of these comments. Barry from Unitech put up, "Good morning, Andrew. Blimey, is that Antonio Banderas?" Which one are you looking at, Barry?
Me. Basically, it stuck with me now, because in France, before I could speak French, when I opened the door and said bonjour, to break the ice, because it would feel a bit uncomfortable somebody opening the door and invite them into your house, because the front door was quite small, and it just made it feel a bit. So I said, to break the ice, I made them laugh. So I said, "Je suis Antonio Banderas," and they would all, either one of them or both of them would laugh. And now it's stuck with me. I even say it here.
Fabulous. Let's just
if I had a penny for every time I heard him say that to a new guest, I'd be rich by now. It's a standard joke.
Fabulous. Lynn Williams also says, "Buenos dias." And Tony Stott says, "Morning all from Living in the Dream Facebook group." He's one of our regulars. And Sylvian, wonder if this is somebody you know. Sylvian says, "Hola, j'espère que tu parles mieux espagnol que français, Andrew. Voulez-vous gin and tonic?"
Sylvian,
we know him.
Yeah, well, he's a friend of ours from France. He's French. But do you understand what he said there? What he's written?
You translate it for me. I think I've got it.
I hope that you speak better Spanish than French, Antonio. Gin and tonic.
Brilliant. Donna Fryer says, "Have you found a guest house B&B, and where have you decided to settle?" We've kind of already answered that. We'll talk a bit more about that one in a minute, the actual B&B. And Tony Stott says, "Did I hear you mention Alluring El Grande?" That's Allurin El Grande. Did you mention that? We haven't mentioned that, have we?
Yeah, we did, yeah. Alluring El Grande, it's our friends from Casa 44.
Ah, yes. Yeah, brilliant. And U2 Yoga. This is my wife, Liz. She says in Competa there's biking and walking during the cooler months, so it's brilliant for tourism. That's why you get loads and loads of people here.
Yeah. It's a good place for people going hiking and mountain biking. In fact, we need to get some e-bikes for guests. That'd be a good idea, wouldn't it?
I won't be buying Anthony a bike. He knows why. No, I bought him a bike for Christmas about 5 years ago because he promised to go cycling with me. He only ever used it once.
I'm in an aeroplane.
those e-bikes are really good. Actually, we bumped into a couple who were just coming out of the local. It's called Todo Express. That's the shop where you can have a PO box if you live in the campo. And they'd got 2 e-bikes delivered. They were picking up one of them, and we saw them trying to lug this box up the road, and we stopped and said, "Would you like some help?" Because he looked like having a bit of a struggle, and we helped them carry it up the steps and to their house. So they were saying we wouldn't buy normal bikes. Normally they used to go biking a lot in the UK, but they said round here just too many hills. But e-bikes are brilliant.
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah. I want to get one actually.
Yeah.
Just to say I've got one.
I might get you one for next Christmas.
A moving in present.
Yeah.
Lovely. Donna says for the next season we'll be in Spain. August can't come soon enough. And what's this? Floretta de Fauna. Is that another one of your friends? Michelle Thomas is good, but you should try Duolingo. Oh, that's for your learning.
Yeah, I actually did both Michelle Thomas and Duolingo, so that's.
He does the both. I just do the one. That's why he's more fluent.
I found Duolingo because it's more Latin American. A lot of the terms are different. So I went on to Busu, but now we've got a really good teacher in town in Competa called Lana O'Reilly. So she's
okay.
Irish name, but she's a very good teacher. I can put you in touch if you want.
Yeah, definitely. And how is your Spanish?
Ah, muy bueno. No,
Gracias.
I'm just getting there. I'm getting there. I've only been to 2 or 3 lessons, but I was on Busu, the app, which is more proper Castellano Spanish.
What's
that
it
was
called?
good.
Busu, I've seen that. I've seen that before.
Busu.
I'll check it out. We have seen it before.
That is good. I was going to ask, did you get a lot of sleepless nights? Because it was really sort of down to the wire by the look of it. You were leaving. You'd already sold your French property, and then you hadn't quite bought and found your Spanish property. That must have been a bit scary because and at the end of the show, at the end of the TV show, you were left without a house, without a business, and So how did that feel?
Very emotional.
Yeah, it was kind of. We always knew it was going to be that way anyway, because when we agreed to go on this show, it was kind of halfway through last year's filming. That's why we were only on it for 2 episodes, because they kind of caught us at the tail end of the filming, so there wasn't a lot for them to fit in. But that was always the plan anyway, that we were going to kind of sell in France, hopefully buy in Spain before, but rent if we couldn't find anywhere. So that's what we've ended up doing, just renting.
But it was a very stressful time, because obviously we was both quite sad leaving the village, because we've made some really, really good friends there, and I did start to quite enjoy the house towards the end, and we built up the business, and it was just getting really good, the business, wasn't it? But in our hearts, we knew it was time to move, but it was difficult to move. And the day we was moving out, it was like it just felt really weird. We slept in the house because the new owner came from, and then 2 days later we went to the notaire together. She came with us in the car, and we went back to the house, and we actually stayed in the house for the last evening in one of the guest rooms. And we couldn't sleep, and we woke up in the morning to drive to Spain, and it was like we were so tired, and we just wanted to get out of the house then, because it just felt really weird living in our house with another woman who owns it. It was like really weird, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Are there any differences between setting up a B&B in France and setting one up here? Anything that you've noticed so far?
We're not really into the process here, have we? Because we've only paid the deposit on the house, and we're waiting for that to go through. And we've only just got our NIE. So we're not really started the process yet as such.
But I think it seems to be quite similar to the only thing is different, as you said, is when we're going to be auto entrepreneurs.
No, that's what we were.
Oh no, that's in France. What is it here?
Autonomo,
yes. That's similar, but in France you don't pay any VAT.
It just runs slightly different. With Autonomo, you kind of, like in the UK, when you're sole trader, you can claim your VAT back on certain things like that. Well, in France, you don't do any of that. You can't claim any VAT back or anything. So it's kind of much easier. You don't need a HEST or anything. You just put your figures in every 3 months, and then they're online, and I'll tell you right there what you've got to pay in cotizations, which is like national insurance, health payments, and then you just enter it, and so it's easier in France, I think, isn't it?
But the cost of living here is a lot cheaper than France. I mean, we was paying for our council tax in France 5,000.
Well, so kind of the equivalent to the council tax, which is what's it called? Tax
foncière.
Tax foncière. Yeah. You kind of, because we ran a business from the house, we had to pay it twice. You had to pay for tax foncière for the house and then foncière for business. So I was paying them about 5,000.
Wow.
And here, I think they said it's is it about 800 or something for the year?
Yeah.
So it, you know, things balance itself out. So we will be better off living here.
Just because of the cost of living, but kind of the social charge and the taxes, I think really, you know, they're very different, but I think they kind of balance out quite similar in the end. At the end of the day, I mean, it is more expensive to live in France, general day stuff like shopping and stuff, and going to the bar and restaurant. But everything else is kind of the same. They'll look at the official stuff.
We'll have to have a report back in a few months. So, you know, once you've established yourself and set yourself up and see how you find the tax system and everything. Because you were talking about when we spoke a few days ago about whether you're going to be just one of you autonomo and the other one working for you, or whether you're both going to be paying the autonomo, which is a bit more expensive, but it allows you to have both be paying for your pension in the end. So that's going to be interesting to see what you do about that.
Yeah, we need to, when we go back to Competa, when we get the keys, we've got an appointment with the Estor to talk about which one we're going to choose. So just we need to go a bit more in depth with that and find out which is the best route for us.
Yeah, because I worked for IBM for 14 years, so I've got my IBM pension, and I paid full payments. Well, I thought I did until you said it was 35 years you had to pay. The other day
you have paid 35.
I can't pay 35. I'm not old enough to pay 35 and all that.
You are.
I mean, no, I'm not.
34 years you've paid.
How can I pay 34 years? It's impossible.
It's on the letter that they sent you.
I'm not.
You don't pay it from birth.
No, I haven't paid 34 years. I couldn't be.
Yeah, but you're 74.
We'll find out. We'll have a recap on that. I've got a tax expert coming on the show in a month or two, so we might find out some details then.
Yeah.
And so I tell you what. Tell us about the B&B then. I'm going to put up a couple of pictures here of the inside that you've shown on social media. So let's have a look at this one first. This is it's the staircase.
Oh, the new B&B. Yeah. So at the moment, it's it's just as it is. It isn't a B&B at the moment. It's just a house. So we've got to put like 4 bathrooms in, and you know, as I said, we're going to put the pool in there. So there's loads and loads of work to be done. I mean, hopefully we've been speaking to 3 different builders. Hopefully we can get it done for summer, but I think that's a bit optimistic. But
No, I think we can. We've got to. We've got to be open by July. This is our deadline. We need to be open because we haven't earned any money since November when we left Coleman of White. Although we've got the money in our bank, but we're slowly eating away. The more we don't work, the less we're spending. The more we're spending. Sorry.
You'll have to stop living in bars while you're here. Then that's why I'm taking him away. That's why I'm taking him away to celebrate. So he keeps away from all the bars here.
No, but the house. I think the house is going to be beautiful. It's really striking, and it's a big old. It's a detached white. It looks like a townhouse, but it's not attached to anything. It's on its own, and it's got a bodega at the bottom.
And it's beautiful and bright and sunlight. Because although our last house and the village where we lived in France was beautiful, the little medieval streets made very dark in the house. You know, we both like to cook, and I hate to cook in the house because obviously we had to go down 3 lots of stairs to the kitchen downstairs. It felt like I was going down into the dungeon. So our apartment was on the top floor, and then when you get down there, because the streets are so narrow, no sunlight penetrated that low. You know, here it's really bright because we're facing the south, and the sun floods into the house. So I just particularly wanted that. I was living in a dark house before.
The sun's at the back of the house all day. It's going to make a really good B&B because when people come, they can stay for 2 days a week or whatever. They'll be able to relax in the garden, listen to me singing, and they can go to the bar, and Ian can serve them a gin and tonic. And when we do the interior, luckily we live so close to Marrakesh. We're going to drive to Tarifa and get the boat over to what's it called?
Tarifa?
No, you go from Tarifa to Tangier.
Oh, sorry.
Tangier, yeah.
We're going to go and get some bits and bobs from there to decorate the house.
Yeah, we're going to do the same. I think we're longing to go. We feel a bit bad actually because we're looking out to sea, and we're thinking we've been longing to come to Spain for a while, and now we're looking at Africa because you can see Africa. On the coast. You've probably not seen it yet from because it's
we did on the first day. We went to view the house in Competa. We went up to the roof terrace, and you can see the sea, and we'd seen Africa, and it was like, wow, it was amazing, wasn't it? I can't wait to move in there. And looking at the village behind you, it's all at night. It looks really beautiful, doesn't it? It's all glowing. And
yeah. Oh, it's absolutely gorgeous, and this view is really longed for by a lot of people who want to move to near a village, because where literally I could throw, they say a stone's throw from town. I could throw a stone over what's the official border of town. Well, we're in the campo, which is the word they use in Spain for the countryside, but we're just really, really close to town, so it's very walking distance.
Competa is getting some really good exposure at the moment as well, because they were at the tourism show in Madrid, and they had their own stand and talking going on there. And then we know a guy here who owns a hotel in Frigliana, and he's got 3 restaurants in NoHo called Silviano. And he was speaking to him the other night, and he told him we're moving to Competa, and he says it's a really good choice, he said, because everybody's talking about Competa right now, about moving there, tourism, and so I think it's hopefully it's a good place to live.
I've only had one bad comment on there's a Facebook group called Competa Social, and there was only one bad comment which said we don't need more B&Bs here. This is a working town, and it's not a tourist town. And I'm thinking, like, we've got 83.7 million people come to Spain every year.
Yeah,
we can't just put a barricade up at the gates and say don't come to Competa. No. It's a tourist town, definitely. Yeah. But you know, there are 50% locals here, and I'm sure that most of the time they're very, very glad for the tourists, because it's bringing money.
But you know, you do get that from people. Like when we had the coffee shop in Moseley in Birmingham, when we opened, there was another coffee shop and maybe a couple of little cafe things, and people all said, "Oh, we don't want another coffee shop in Moseley. You know, we've already got." But then after we opened, another 10 opened after we opened, and then it became a hub for coffee shops, and they're all, you know, everyone goes there, and it's all really, really busy all the time because people know it's a hub for coffee shops.
So the more things that open somewhere, the better it is, because it attracts more people.
And as well, there's so many houses. I mean, if you go around Competa, there's so many houses for sale, and some of those big old houses which people don't want so much these days. This is what the estate agent was telling me. You know, people don't want them so much, so I think it's better to turn them into bed and breakfast or get them, you know, renovated than just to leave them empty and crumbling.
Yeah, absolutely. Oh, so Barry from Unitech says, should we have U2 Africa next? Yeah, why not? U2 Marrakesh. I can do it live from Marrakesh.
Yeah.
And, J Rudy Organics. Who is that? She says, hello, Skatz. Has she got a cafe somewhere here? Tell us about what you've got. J Rudy. That's an interesting name. Oh, it's something to do with you. She says, Anthony, hello. Cafe, lol.
Oh, mainly probably because the coffee shop we used to have.
Is she a friend? She an old friend then?
What's her name?
J Rudy.
J Rudy Organics.
There you go.
Oh yeah. Okay.
Must be a friend. She's got loads of messages up there. I've got loads of questions to ask, and of course we've had a load on the social media. So I'm just going to pop one of those questions up so they don't feel left out, because we're going to be giving a prize for the best question later on. And Karen Stewart, who's one of our regulars, I think, says, what's the top tip for integrating into the local community?
Top tip. Well, we actually did that really well. It's basically, I mean, everyone said the same thing, but you do have to mix with the local people, and you do need to learn some of the language as well. At least be able to communicate. You know, you don't have to speak it fluently, but you need to be able to communicate. And what we do is we like to go to bars and restaurants. So You know, you get to know all the bar and restaurant owners, and when you sit and chat to them, and you've just really got to, you know, people say, oh, it's really difficult to get into the local community. Well, you're never going to get into the local community
if you don't go out.
Unless you go to the bars, or you go to the restaurants, or you go in the shops and you speak a bit of the language and you speak to them a little bit, you know, and then that's the only way you're going to do it. You're never going to do it any other way. If you don't speak any of the language and you don't mix, you're never going to do it.
What we did in France is we just went, as soon as we moved to Communivoir, there's a local bar where all the French people hung out, and not saying that we're alcoholics, but not just even have a beer, to have a coffee or whatever, we'd go there almost every day and sit there, and then people start to talk to you. Oh, you're the guys that own that new B&B, and then it was like we knew everybody.
And another thing I'd do is say hello to people all the time in your local language. So, you know, everyone, when we lived in France, everyone who walked past in the street would say bonjour to you out the window or whatever and smile at them. So, I mean, I think a lot of people are not confident because they don't know the language or they don't know enough of the language. But, you know, you've only got the basics, unless you get into conversation, of course.
Carry an e-bike up a
you just got to put yourself out there.
I see that.
That's Barry again. Top tip: help someone carry an e-bike up some steps. Yeah, that's how we did it. But that doesn't happen every day, though, Barry. On J Rudy Organics says this is Ghazi Skatz. So actually, Ghazi is one of our regular posters. So she's, I think it's a she, changed the handle. So welcome back under the new name. Yeah. Let's put another one up. Mark Sylvester is asking, this is a good one. This is a local plug, and it is, will you be doing butcher's sausages? This is for your breakfast from Tony's Butchers in Nerja. They are highly recommended.
Well,
probably not.
Probably not. We won't be doing English breakfast. But when now I've just read this post, it's made me want to go, because Tony's Butchers in Nerja is the best. It's amazing that he does everything, anything like English sausages, Irish sausages, bacon, beef, everything. But yeah, if you're ever in Nerja, pop in and get his sausages. They're amazing. In fact, I'm going to go in a minute.
Yeah, but we don't do English breakfast. I mean, I love an English breakfast occasionally. But if you've got like 10 people there and you're having to cook English breakfast every morning, one, that house gets greasy and smelly and stuff, and it's much harder to clean up. Where you know, if you do a continental breakfast these days, it's not like the standard continental breakfast. You can get a bit experimentation with it and make, you know, some stuff yourself, and you know, loads of fruit and stuff, and jazz it all up. So no, we'll be doing continental breakfast.
Yeah, of course, not all of you guests are going to be English, so
no.
Yeah. There you go. And Craig James is saying, how do you make the final decision on an area to live? He's nervous about making a mistake.
That's a really interesting question. Yeah. Because the reason why I say it's a really interesting question is because
it's taken us 3 years.
We lived 2 different places in France, and although we liked them both. The first one, which was in central France, in a place called La Souterraine, the weather weren't that good and stuff. And then in the south, we loved it in the south, and we loved all our French neighbours and all the French people there, and all the foreigners as well. You know, the English, the Americans. It was a very international village. But I think best thing to do is just try and spend as much time there before you actually live there, particularly in times which are out of, say, summer and season. You know, you go and look in the winter and walk around for a day and think, well, if I'm going to live here and it's quiet like this, is that okay? Some people love the quiet, some people hate the quiet, you know. Depends what you're looking for and stuff. But definitely go there. Definitely spend, even if you stay in a bed and breakfast or something, and just a couple of nights there, days and nights, and walk around. And because it's very expensive to move in. I mean, France is the same, and Spain is the same. I know, you know, you have to pay like around about 10% charges of what you buy. If you buy a £300,000 house, you've got to pay 30 grand in charges, you know. And so, if you keep moving around, if you don't find the right place, you kind of see pot kind of slowly gets a bit smaller and a bit smaller. So I'd definitely go and stay somewhere first.
Ian's right, I'd rent somewhere in near to. Like, we chose Nerha because we can get to lots of places and see lots of towns and villages from here.
Mhm.
And for us to live here for a few months, it's a great place to meet people. We know loads of people here now, and we'd drive up to Competa in the night time, in the morning time, and just see what it's like. Even with the light and everything, different times of the day. We stayed up there for 4 days a few weeks ago, 3 days, and it's just keep investigating the area that you like.
Yeah, you've got to stay there out of season if you can as well.
Yeah, because you said on the show, I think it was Ian said it. You were hoping it was going to be 20 degrees here in the winter. Certainly down there on the coast. Has it lived up to that expectation?
Yes.
Yeah, well, it's kind of, been around about 15, 16 degrees a lot as well. But sunny, when the sun's out, it feels warm anyway. But that's enough. You can't ask more than that.
You can go onto the beach every day almost and sunbathe. There's people on there every day sunbathing. The only thing is the night times are slightly chilly, but I think you feel it more when you've been sunbathing in the daytime, and then when the chill comes at the night. But it's better than England.
Certainly up here in the mountains, it does get cold. And I mean, you can see I'm in this, but I'm in a like a separate little building, so there's no particular heating in here. And I'm hoping that reflects what it's going to be like in the summer as well. I'm hoping that it's going to be cool in here. Otherwise, I'll be doing the show naked and sweaty.
Yeah. Somebody told us that I mean, it's up there. It's warmer in the summertime than it is on the coast, and then in the winter it's colder. But I mean, we've been up there a few days ago, and the sun was shining. We sat in the square. You could actually sunbathe.
Yeah, we've been
in your shorts and t-shirt. This was about 3 days ago.
Yeah, we've been up about 3 or 4 times, and it's been lovely and warm in the daytime.
Yeah, I know people English people who don't ever get out of their shorts. You
could wear your shorts all the time, really.
Yeah. We've got some lovely little compliments from the local community. I've got to put these up because they are really nice. As I say, there was only one bad comment, but there's always some. There's always one wherever you go, isn't there? But let's put some of these lovely welcomes up. There's one from Claire Martin, Susanna Erbe, Jennifer, Eric Weatherstone, and Jane Haley, and they say, warm welcome and best of luck to Anthony and Ian. All the best for Casa Jardin. Good luck with the new venture. Welcome to Competa. How exciting. Good luck and a very warm welcome.
Oh, thank you all.
They're very nice.
Can't wait to meet you.
Thank you.
Absolutely. And we'll just put up the next one as well, because I like to give them a mention. So that's Elaine Hannon, Caroline Steele Perkins, and Sarah Young. Warm welcome and hope you're very successful. I'm sure the restaurants and local businesses will be delighted that you're attracting additional footfall to our beautiful village. I'd love to think we could support the huge variety of restaurants in isolation, but need the benefit of tourism around to allow us to enjoy them all year round. Very good comment.
Well said.
I think we'll give Elaine a prize for that.
Yes, I think
lovely comment. And welcome from Caroline, and good luck from Sarah Young, and Adele Bowers as well. Adele says, let's put this one up. This is nice. She's actually seen the property that you've got. I've not actually seen it in real life. I've seen the photograph of it. She says, love the property you have purchased. It will be amazing. Good luck and see you about town.
Oh, thank you, Adele.
Thank you, everyone.
So yes, 99% of people on on this poll have said welcome.
Yeah, so, you always get the odd naysayer, odd one or two, then wherever you go.
Yeah. I just think it's a shame that
didn't show us.
I'm not going to put their name up because I'm not going to give them publicity. And and also, some people may have had a hard life or something happened to them that's made them a bit bitter. So might not be their fault in the end. So let's just quick one. This is Barry from Unitech. He's always got lots of good questions. Having watched the program last week, did you ever consider living off grid in a tent like Joe and Carl have done in Portugal?
No way.
And he says, no, me neither.
I think actually Ian said the other day whilst we was watching that program, he said, how about living off grid? And I was like, no chance. I don't even like walking in anywhere there's any mud or anything. So for me to live without a shower and without normal things, I couldn't do it. I could try it for the night just to see what it's like, but living off grid for me, no. I think Ian could do because he thinks he's like a bit of a Bear Grylls type of guy. That's what he likes to think himself as, anyway.
That could be. Yeah, go on, carry on.
I used to camp out a lot when I was younger with like my friends and stuff, and go fishing in the countryside and all that kind of stuff, and the 6 weeks holidays and things. So I wouldn't do it permanently, but I would do it for a couple of weeks for a holiday. Yeah, I love that kind of stuff.
You could have your own YouTube channel, Bear Grylls and Antonio Banderas.
Yes.
Yeah. I would. I'd have to drop Anthony off of the salon on the way to
or the bar.
Or the bar, yeah.
Or the bar, yes. What you could do is combine it and go sort of glamping with a bar inside your, Moroccan tent.
Yeah.
Like that would suit me.
There's a bit of a buzz on when we're speaking on our
on yours?
laptop. I'm not sure if it's on yours as well.
Oh, when I'm speaking.
Yeah, when you speak.
Yeah. Sometimes that's actually what happens when we're getting towards the hour that I've been online. I don't know if it's something to do with the live stream, the internet connection or something. Don't know. But can you still hear me? Okay.
Not really.
Kind of.
Well, it normally gets better after a minute or a half. So tell you what. Just is there anything more you have to say before we get into the end of the show?
Is there anything more? Is there anything more to say? Did you say?
Yeah.
We just look forward to moving. Thank you, everybody from Competa, for all your lovely remarks, and we can't wait to see you all guys very soon and invite you into our house. And thank you. And thank you, Andrew, for inviting us on the show.
Yeah,
you're very welcome.
We'll definitely do another one because it'd be interesting for people to see how we get on, how we get on with the VAT.
Well, and we have a hair store to do that.
So Ian will have to learn bed making skills. His excuse was in France that he was paying the bills.
No. Because lots of our friends have said, "Well, does Anthony do all the work?" Because that's actually what it looks like on A New Life in the Sun. But they didn't show me I have to do all the washing, all the drying, all the putting away, the ironing, and there's loads of stuff I do. So I just have to get that in because everyone thinks they're the lazy one.
Brilliant. How's my voice? Has it come back yet?
A little bit better.
It's starting to do a little bit, yeah.
Good. It's starting to clear. I was just going to say, how do you get on a show like A New Life in the Sun? Do you get paid for it?
You get paid, yeah. You get paid €1, nominal fee. But
Andrew and
Anthony organised it, yeah.
Andrew and Brennan, they were on the show. When we came to see them, they said, this would make a really good show for them because it's never been done before. It's normally English people moving to France, Spain, Portugal, but we've already done that first move, and now we're moving from France to Spain. So when we contacted the show, we sent them an email, and they like within 10 minutes they phoned us and said, "Can you do a live call in a few days?" And we was like, "Yes, no problem." And then they called us back about half an hour later and said, "No, can you do it now?" And we was like, "Okay." I said, "Ian, come on, we've got to do it right now." And so we went on, and they called us back and said, "Yes, we really want you on the show. It's going to be great for the show, great for you." And not only do.
Oh, you've gone off now. You've frozen on my screen and the sound has disappeared. Are you still there? I'll keep talking for a second or two. I hope you've not been cut off. We haven't got any more questions from anyone on social media at the moment, and nobody more on the chat. And so we've given out one prize. I'll just let everybody know that we're going to be giving out at least one more prize for anybody who puts a question or a comment on the YouTooSpain Facebook group over the next few days. Your picture is still frozen, Anthony and Ian. That's such a shame, because I was going to give you a send-off. You've disappeared. What a shame. I'll see if you come back online or not. You did have a power cut in your area at some point about an hour ago, so I'm hoping that's not happened again. Hope you're both okay. And so, yes, get on the YouTooSpain group, the Facebook group, and join in with that, because there are lots of people on there who you can talk to if you're moving to Spain. There's people that you can talk to about that who are in the same position as you. Next week's show, then we've had a little beep. Coming back on. Hello, are you there? Can you hear me?
Yes, you know what happened earlier? The electric went. Well, it's just done it again.
I was just telling the viewers, actually, that's what happened earlier, so that's probably what happened.
Yeah.
There we go. That was a good guess. I've just been telling people what's about to happen on next week's show, and that we're giving out some Upsticks prizes. The Upsticks, you mentioned Chris earlier. He's our regular fortnightly expert.
Yeah.
And also, Upsticks are starting to sponsor the shows. Well, every 2 weeks, which is brilliant. And big thanks to Chris for that. He's a big supporter.
Oh, that's brilliant.
And next week we'll be talking about how to find the best person to support you in getting your Spanish visa and residency. And we'll tell you exactly what to look for. Just look for Chris is my answer to that one.
Yes, I'm sure we'll say that.
Yeah, takes a lot of worry out the process and stuff.
When we went to get our NIEs, they even, like, we didn't know where we was going or anything. He said, just meet me in Malaga outside the police station. And there he was. He had about a pile of lots of other people stuff to go and do. And it makes you feel really comfortable, because there was a big queue of people, and he was like, these are things that we're going through. And yeah, I don't know what we would have done if he wasn't there. Yeah. Just definitely took a lot of the stress out of it.
And he can cover quite an area as well. He said to me the other day, I like to pick all of my appointments on Fridays that are outside Malaga, so that he's got an excuse to go and do a load of appointments in the morning and then go and eat somewhere on the beach.
Nice.
At lunchtime. So it's a good job to have, isn't it?
Yeah.
So it's time to say goodbye. I've had a brilliant show. I've really, really enjoyed you being here.
Me too. It's been really good.
Yeah, it's been good.
And my wife Liz has said, let's all go out for a drink and a meal when you get here and celebrate.
Yeah. Yes. Is she paying?
No, he's paying. The man should pay.
No, we definitely go, because I've heard that there's sorry for the talking again, but there's somewhere in Competa that does takeaway Thai and Indian food.
Oh, I'll have to find out about that.
On a Thursday, I think. I think Nikki Hutchinson said something, or somebody like that.
Yeah. Nikki's the admin on Competa Social. So hello, Nikki.
Hi, Nikki.
Heineken.
Nikki. Okay.
So, thank you once again. You've been brilliant guests, and I look forward to seeing you when you're up here.
Thank you. We're off to Salabring, you know.
Brilliant. Well, yeah, enjoy your time there. I've not been there yet, but I've heard it's really nice.
Yeah, it's lovely. Yeah, not as nice as here, but yeah.
Yeah. Okay then.
Take care.
Everybody wave goodbye to Anthony.
Bye.
Yeah, bye. There we go. So on next week's show, I've already told you what's going to be on next week's show. It's going to be Chris from Upsticks, and we'll be talking about who's the best person to get your Spanish visa and residency from. And that is on at our regular time of 9 o'clock if you are in the UK or Ireland, and 10 o'clock if you're in Spain. Don't forget to check out YouTube Yoga, which is Liz's YouTube channel, where you can get free yoga and meditation classes, and also YouTube aromatherapy. And of course, look at the merchandise site. It's a new site with a new address, so that is in the comments below, in the video description below, sorry. And that's all for this week. Thank you so much for tuning in. Please subscribe and click on the bell if you haven't done that already. So peace and love, and I will see you next week. Bye for now. Cue the music.